Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Shalom. I'm David Mencer, Israeli government spokesman. So for this press briefing, a quick update from me. Please put your questions in the chat of this Zoom, all of which we will take. We will answer this Wednesday, the 21st of August, day 320 of the October 7th war. To start with, the Prime Minister met yesterday at his office in Jerusalem with the Gvura and Tikva forums. The full statement is available on the Prime Minister's website. We were asked about it yesterday in the Q&A, so let me share with you a couple of the points that the Prime Minister made. The Prime Minister said that we are using all necessary force to dismantle Hamas's rule and its military capability. And this is moving forward. At the same time, we are making every effort, diplomatically and militarily, to return our dear 109 hostages still cruelly held in Hamas captivity for more than 10 months now. The living and the deceased, women, men, children, and the elderly. The Prime Minister told these families of fallen soldiers that their loved ones have not fallen in vain and that Israel will continue to fight until victory is achieved over Hamas. The Prime Minister said that many had tried to dissuade Israel from pushing forward into Rafah and the Philadelphia corridor to directly cut off at the source Hamas's deadly weapons and terrorists smuggled into Gaza. Israel is using all necessary force to dismantle Hamas's rule and its military capability. To address the ongoing negotiations for a hostage release deal directly, Israel greatly appreciates the efforts of the United States and the mediators to dissuade Hamas from its refusal to agree to a deal for the hostages, for the release of our hostages. The negotiations continue for a framework agreement based upon the principles presented by the US in May, in a manner that will enable the return of the hostages while achieving the other goals of this war. Next, allow me to give you an update on the latest military activity in Gaza to dismantle Hamas. In the last hour or so, IDF have released details of troops continuing precise intelligence-based operational activity in the area of Tel al-Sultan in Rafah. Troops eliminated dozens of armed terrorists, dismantled large amounts of terror infrastructure in the area, located large amounts of weaponry, including explosives, grenades, deadly RPGs, AK-47s, and more. Also, I can share that the continued operational activity in Khan Yunis, eliminating dozens of terrorists, those firing rockets at southern Israel, targeted raids on terror targets, and locating and dismantling military compounds. To the north of Israel now, more than 50 rockets, mortars and drones from Hezbollah today alone. Many were intercepted by the IDF aerial defense array, but the town of Katzrin was hit. Now, this is not a sustainable reality. Let me be clear. The Prime Minister said that we will use all necessary means to restore security on our northern border and to safely return our citizens to their homes. Israel will respond with force to Hezbollah's incessant and unprovoked aggression. We faced their rockets, UAVs from Lebanese territory since October 2023. Our people have been killed. Many have been injured, and there is much damage. Lebanon will be held responsible for the terrorism originating from its own territory, whether it controls Hezbollah or not. Our advice would be to rid themselves of Hezbollah. Now from COGAT and an update from their work coordinating aid into Gaza. Aid continues to enter every day via all crossings. Since the beginning of this war, more than 46,000 trucks have delivered more than 907,000 tons. 907,000 tons of humanitarian aid into Gaza. That's 80% more food compared to prior to October the 7th. Working with humanitarian missions, not UNRWA, but working with humanitarian missions doing their important humanitarian work, 87% of humanitarian coordination requests have been approved since October 7th. That's 7,800 requests submitted, 87% of which have been approved. Now, COGAT will continue supporting the vital work of humanitarians, genuine humanitarians across Gaza. On our polio response efforts, COGAT conducted a vaccination campaign strategy meeting just yesterday with our partners at the World Health Organization, UNICEF, USAID, together with Israel's Ministry of Health. The aspects of the vaccination campaign were the priority at the session. So that's the end of our briefing here today. We'll now take your questions, which you should put in the chat with your news outlet. Okay, first question here is from Joel Pollack at Breitbart News. Given that Hamas has rejected the bridging deal that the United States has proposed, does Israel expect there is any possibility a deal could be concluded by the end of the week or in the near future? Thank you for that question, Joel. I gave a fairly comprehensive view of our efforts to push forward this hostage release negotiated deal. We want it to succeed. The Prime Minister's made that clear when Secretary Blinken was here. We want it to succeed. We have yet to receive an official response from Hamas, and we will inform of forthcoming actions accordingly as and when. But our intentions for this war are very, very clear. We want to get our hostages out, whether through military means or diplomatically. We want to get our hostages out. Hamas will be destroyed, their military and their civil capabilities, their governing capabilities. And of course, we don't want to be back here in 18 months' time fighting another war against Hamas. There will be no more threat from Gaza or emanating from Gaza. Next question here is from Fred Ager. Eliyahu Libman, whose son Eliakim was killed at the Nova Festival while saving lives, warns that against a ceasefire prisoner swap deal with Hamas, claiming it would create a cycle of bloodshed and reward kidnappings in additional deals. What is Israel Prime Minister's Office response to Eliyahu Libman and his claims that the current deal is a bad one for the security of Israel? Thank you very much for that question, Fred. Look, everyone here in Israel knows of the heroism of Eliakim Libman, who saved many people in his role as a security guard at the Nova Festival. Even when there were opportunities for him to go free, he did not take that opportunity, and he went back to help other people. And sadly, he was killed by Hamas. Fred, we've made our points very clear on this hostage release negotiation that we are undertaking right now. We want them to succeed. Let's be in no doubt. We want them to succeed, but we have a duty to defend this country. We have a duty to return our hostages, and we have a duty to ensure that Gaza can never be a threat to this country again. Next question from Fred Ager. US officials are concerned that if negotiations for a prisoner swap deal with Hamas fail, Iran may attempt a direct strike on Israel, escalating Middle East tensions. There is no clear alternative for the deal, and if it fails, the chances of an Iranian attack on Israel increase significantly. What update can you share regarding the state of the swap deal and the consequences it could have on a possible direct attack from Iran if no deal is reached? Okay, Fred, thank you for that question. Look, we've spoken already in this briefing, in my introduction, about our thoughts on this potential deal. We want one to succeed. The Prime Minister's made very, very clear. He said that repeatedly. But when it comes to Iran, we know that their axis of evil has tried to form a stranglehold against our country. It's a ring of armed terror armies So whether it's Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis in Yemen, and other militias, Israel must do its duty to defend its people. We will exact a heavy price for aggression against us from any arena. Our long arm, excuse me, our long arm will reach anyone who causes harm to our civilians, and the elimination of the commanders of the military wings of both Hamas and Hezbollah send a very clear message to anyone who threatens this country. Defensively or offensively, this country will be defended. And now, in common with the Prime Minister, and I think all Israelis, and our security services remain on high alert. The government has expressed its appreciation and thanks to our allies, standing united with us in the face of the hate-filled threats of the Iranian regime and its terrorist proxies. In particular, the government expresses its gratitude to President Biden and the American people for their steadfast commitment in words and in deeds, and to other countries as well, to the safety and security of our country. I think that's about as much as I want to say on that particular subject. There is another question here from Fred Ager. A senior official from the Palestinian Fatah movement claims that Israel killed a fellow party member in southern Lebanon in order to start a regional war. The assassination of Fatah official is further proof that Israel wants to ignite a full-scale war in the region. Tawfiq Tirawi, a member of Fatah's Central Committee, tells AFP, referring to the killing of Khalil Makda. What is the Israel's Prime Minister's office response to Tawfiq Tirawi? Thank you for that question, Fred. The IDF this morning has released a comprehensive breakdown of precisely who this terrorist, Khalil Makda, and his brother were. We released a precise breakdown of exactly who this man was, working in partnership with the IRGC, the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard, trying to push deadly arms into the Judea and Samaria, working with Hezbollah. We've produced a comprehensive list of his crimes and why we targeted him and why we successfully targeted him. They're on the IDF Telegram feed, and you can see them there, and I would encourage you to take a look at them there to see exactly who this terrorist was. Okay, any other questions? Yeah, it's another question. Okay, keep going down. Is that... There are no more questions? Okay, just go up a bit. Just go up for a second. Let me just make sure. Okay, you've put them in there twice. Okay, so that's the last question we have received today. Thank you for joining us. We'll have another briefing at the same time tomorrow. So in the meantime, please do stay safe, and thank you for joining us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Djobnik signing off.